Yeah. You gotta work. You gotta work, grind, shine, it's mine. Gotta show everybody it's my time. Getting here, you gotta work, grind, shine. Never mind who talking down, cause they lying. Don't talk, you gotta work.
Welcome to Let's Talk with Carl Lee. Let's Talk is proudly presented by attorney Frank Walker. Real talk, real experience, real results. FrankWalkerLaw.com. Let the conversation begin on Let's Talk.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Carl Lee with Let's Talk, and I have in the building Hollis Lewis.
Hello, hello.
And the Miss Lisa Otey.
You can get my name right. You pronounce my name right.
I've been trying to forget you is what I've been trying.
It's because I don't have my Packers shirt on tonight. You're upset.
That is the reason why I've been trying to forget you. That's
okay.
the problem.
It's okay. I'll wear one next week.
We'll take you as a Viking fan anytime, so you don't have to wait it out, okay?
Oh, boy.
So today, and I'm going to say maybe the quietest person on the show.
Sometimes.
I'm mad I was quiet because I missed last week with Dusty Baker, so I'm a little.
You a little mad now?
Yeah, that was.
But you were in Orlando.
Yeah, but I
want
to talk to Dusty Baker. That was I missed that.
We'll
so
have him back on.
Yeah, if you haven't listened to that show, make sure you do that.
Well, since you're back, we're going to hand it over to you and let you handle it.
All right, so y'all talk Vikings and Packers and all that stuff, but I am a Laker fan. I could say this is this is probably the only team that I am a true fan of, besides West Virginia State and Southern University. But as far as professional, I'm a Laker fan. I'm never going to change. If I couldn't be a Laker, if I could not be a Laker fan, I'm not a fan of a basketball team.
Oh,
so
my
I am
goodness.
a Laker
He's
fan.
a diehard.
Okay.
I didn't realize that.
Yes.
Me either.
I am
You
a
got to give me a
Laker.
little bit of backdrop on how that.
Magic Johnson. That's it. I
yeah.
love Magic Johnson. He's my favorite all-time basketball player. He's the greatest basketball player, if you ask me. But I'm a huge Magic Johnson. When he did his announcement, he couldn't play anymore. Like, I cried. Like, I am.
How old were you?
I was like 10, 11, maybe 12-ish, something like that.
Yeah.
I think it was like 93. It was early 90s. But I was.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
He's a baby.
Yeah, I am a huge Magic. I love Magic Johnson.
Awesome.
So what happened is that this past week, the Lakers were sold for the second time in a year. So the Lakers were originally sold from the Buss family, or at least a large percentage from the Buss family, to Mark Walter. He owns the Dodgers and a couple other teams for $10 million. Mm-hmm. Walter then turns around this week and sells the majority interest, 83% of the Lakers, to Disney CEO Bob Iger and Josh Kushner. Josh Kushner, I think, is some distant related to the Trump family, or by marriage or whatever. He sells them for $12.5 million. So that's about a 25% return in a year. So and Mark Walters, he is currently under federal investigation for tax fraud. So I think he's not only selling the Lakers, he's trying to sell the soccer team. But I think the issue with this is, number one, when you have such an historic franchise like the Lakers being kind of just moved around like a used car, although we're talking significant money. So we're not talking used car money, right? And then just the manner in which this sale happened, right? Because, again, this was kind of quiet. Normally, if a team is up for sale, it's a kind of quote-unquote pit on the market.
I hadn't even heard it.
Exactly, right? There's maybe some bids.
They didn't spend a whole lot of time on it. On it, ESPN,
literally. So I guess the question is that does the league, or should professional franchise leagues, do they have an obligation to make sure that sales like this aren't done in this sort of manner? Or is it a situation in which, hey, man, you own the team, you kind of do what you want?
See, and to that point, I think ownership supersedes, not that it should, but it supersedes I don't even know how to even describe it, but
the hierarchy?
Yes. I think if I own it, you can't tell me what I can and can't do with it.
But isn't there like an integrity part within kind of the confines of like the NBA or whatever professional sports organization that they should have some sort of?
You could want that, But again, how are you going to convince me as an owner of a team that you're going to, because it's not there now. Can we get there? I'm going to say possibly no, because I don't want you to be able to dictate what I'm doing with my team. Now, do I think that's right? No. But I just don't. I don't think that's.
Well, I mean, I see your point to a degree. It is your team, and you should be allowed to do, as you will, as far as sell or keep it or however you choose to handle things. But it's got to be a clean sale. I mean, there's so much. There's so much like dirt around this sale, because you're thinking about this guy that Mark Walter agreed to sell to, that Josh Kushner. He's in trouble right now. Right?
All of them are in trouble.
Like he built this.
Walter's in trouble.
Yeah, they're all in trouble. So, I think that. Well, I meant Walter. You're right. He's the one that had the business empire, right? The TWG Global, and they're under investigation.
Yeah, for tax fraud.
For tax fraud, and for he's trying to seek liquidation because he had all these loans that he had through insurance companies, like $16 billion worth of loans.
Jeez.
So he's trying to pay those down. So that's part of the tax fraud, I believe.
Okay.
But, I don't think that you have some freedom to do what you want with your team once you buy into an NBA franchise, but it has to be legitimate and, above scrutiny.
But shouldn't we be looking at? Shouldn't we catch that on the front end?
I mean,
I don't know.
I mean, maybe, but I think the other issue, as far as when we talk about the legitimacy of the sale, and it's particularly like what's going on, because you're kind of in trouble and you don't want to have any sort of stain on the league's name. If I'm the New York Knicks, if I'm the Miami Heat, if I'm Chicago Bulls, I'm like, what are you doing? We sold. Again, the Lakers are the Yankees.
Yes.
The Lakers are the Cowboys. So if you sold them for 12.5, and I'm like, I mean, not to say they are, but if I'm the New York Knicks and I'm like, well, it's time for me to sell, are you going to get as much as the Lakers? Probably not.
No.
Right?
No.
If you're Miami Heat, you definitely ain't.
No.
If you're Chicago, if you're Milwaukee. So if I'm another team owner, again, I may sympathize with what's going on, but at the same time, I'm looking like, dang, at least put it on the market, because I'm thinking at the very least, I'm talking $15 billion, maybe even up to $20 billion. It's the Lakers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so the issue to me that you're saying is actually the cost and the sale cost of it. There's no way you can buy a franchise team and not one of the best in NBA
In sports.
in sports.
In sports.
Okay, I'll even give you that.
Yeah, it's in sports.
No way you can come out of that with that little bit of money.
I mean, but
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of
Yeah.
money. But what I'm saying is, like, if you put it on the market,
Right.
we don't know. I mean, maybe it is 12.5. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
But we
I
don't
can't
know.
imagine.
But I'm saying we don't
I
know
don't
because
know.
it's not in the market.
Right.
I would agree with you that it's probably worth closer to 15 or maybe a little bit more. So if I'm another team, I'm looking at like, man, you just can't arbitrarily sell these things. And again, were there any vetting? To your point, you talk about catching it on the front end. Are we vetting the new owners? What's the process for that?
Right.
Are we opening ourselves up to bid? Is it a quote unquote fair process? Because the league can reject to say, hey, you can't own a franchise. They've done that previously. They've rejected owners.
They're not going to reject that much money, though. Do you think, even though it's
I mean,
crossing
not-
hands
probably
between
not
two
this-
owners?
probably
I
not
mean,
this one.
and
And
who
I-
else would buy? I mean, I'm sure there would be somebody, but not for that much
And
money.
we seeing Jenny Buss, her family just sold their 17.8 stake after the original sale.
Yeah.
So they sold, not only did Walter sell his shares, but the Buss family sold theirs, which is a sad thing. It was just
Well, she was
sad.
supposed to be like she was going to stay the Lakers governor until all this
Yeah.
change and transition, kind of happened. And now she's gone. So, that's another thing. This team is probably, their heads are, the people on the team, the organization, the players, their heads are spinning. You're going from one owner to another, the changes, the expectations. Do you think that's why LeBron, kind of thought about jumping ship?
I didn't even think
I
about
did not
that.
either.
Like, did he catch
actually-
wind of that?
That
I
might
mean,
be wow.
I
That's-
just thought
wow.
I just made that connection, and I'm like, he went to the 76ers, and he just went up, not long ago. Did he know? Did he see this coming? Did somebody, tell him that this was coming down the pike? And he was like, "Hey, I'm out of here."
That's actually a great point. I didn't even think about. So that could be Ray.
And it could easily look as though he might have known, but he might not have. But
right. It's a big coincidence, though.
Yeah,
that is a good point.
Because why would he have left?
Well, I think his time was up, but
I think that too.
That might have been the straw that broke
but it might have been the straw that broke.
But if any other franchise, there's not, to me, I don't think he has an opportunity to go to a franchise that is on the brink of winning a championship because they don't need him.
I think he is in a situation with all the pieces that they got with Philly.
I think he is now.
I really do. I mean, because they got Embiid, they got your boy, they got Jaylen Brown, they got LeBron, they got some other like young pieces there.
Okay, let me ask you. Let me ask you this question.
But he seemed happy in LA. I mean, I think his time had been. You're right. And he had his son there with him. I mean, he was kind of living a dream life. The Lakers, like you said, they're the storied team of the NBA. It just kind of now.
That is a good point. Maybe he knew something.
Right.
That's a good point.
I mean, this didn't happen. This has been in the works for a minute. For this much money and all the transactions and the paperwork that have to take place, the legal stuff. Surely somewhere along the road he found out about it.
Yeah, well, maybe he just knew the guy was in trouble. Maybe he knew that
too. That too.
Oh, man. I don't know.
Okay, have we ever seen this happen like this before? Can anybody remember?
Not this fast.
I've
never seen like a
exactly.
sale like that just happened.
No.
And again, we're not talking about, and no disrespect, but we're not talking about the Brewers.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
You're talking about the Lakers.
Yes.
It's in American sports, it is the Lakers, it is the Yankees, and it's the Cowboys.
Yeah.
When you move.
Oh, please. He had to go there.
Well, that's why his mic went out.
I did. I think Matt Murphy was responsible
I think
for that.
they cut my mic out. No, but those are the premier franchises. But hey, like them, love. I am no Cowboy fan. But like them, love them, or hate them. Those are the premier franchises in American sports.
I give you that.
And when you sell those franchises, you don't do so in a week. Undercover.
Exactly.
You don't do that. I don't know what's going on.
I was going to say, do you even sell them?
Do you even sell those?
Right.
Great point, Coach.
I mean, even when they lose, they make money because
we
of the merch sales. Just people buy tickets whether they're losing or winning just to go to the.
We'll be better next year.
Better next year.
And those are franchises that have been handed down to second and third generation.
Yes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When you look at the Yankees and Steinbrenner franchise, I'm not sure if they still own them. I believe they did at least for a while. The Bus family.
But you're passing them down.
You're passing them down at least for 1 or 2 generations.
Right.
So it's just, it's just a little fishy.
A lot fishy. I'll go even further. A lot fishy.
Yeah. I just don't. For me, anything that has to do, I'll say, I don't know if necessarily I can put him in this, but when it's around LeBron James.
Oh my God!
No, he's not responsible for it.
He is. Coach Lee. He's gonna blame him.
I'm not saying that he. I'm not
gonna say
LeBron gets the blame for everything.
I'm just saying.
But this looks pretty legit that we're questioning. Is that why he jumped ship in L.A.? Now that this came out not long after he decided to go to the 76ers. I mean, I'm just saying.
Making my point. Helping me make my point.
Well, I'm not saying he did it like he wanted to do it. I mean, maybe he saw what was coming, and he saw the writing on the wall, and he wanted to get out of there.
He's the guy.
He didn't want to get his hands dirty.
Okay, you said he saw the writing on the wall,
right?
Or did somebody write it on the wall?
Well, somebody did, but I mean, he read the writing. Put it that way.
See, that's my place. See, and Hollis doesn't want to give me no due on that.
I could be totally wrong.
You could very well be. We both could.
Yeah.
But I'm going to make the case. It's not a coincidence to me that he's trying to jump ship or jumping ship because he's going to know. To me, I feel like he's a player.
He's in the know.
He's in the know.
Yeah.
I mean, and again, it's legitimate because all his businesses in L.A.
Right.
He does the stuff with all the things he's trying to do.
Didn't you scratch your head a little bit when
he
did that?
And then he goes to Philly. So, I'm no conspiracy theorist, but, It's something that and again, you heard it here first. I don't think I've heard that anywhere else. I don't think I've heard that theory, so it's legit. But we're gonna move on to football, and we have quarterback of the Commanders, the Washington D.C. Commanders, Jayden Daniels. He sent a cease and desist order to LSU to stop using his name, image, and likeness. And the basis of it was because they allowed another player to wear his number 5. He was a Heisman winner at LSU. I don't think they didn't win a national championship with him, but he was a Heisman winner, high draft pick. And he backdated. So he was just like, look, don't use my image no more. If y'all gonna let him wear my number, we're done. As far as that relationship, I think he even tried to at least the speculation that he tried to take back the Heisman that's housed there and everything like that. What do you think about that?
All right, I'm gonna hit this with a question. All right. So let's just say you go to college. Most colleges are rarely retired jerseys. Mm-hmm. Some league teams don't.
Some do.
Yeah.
Most don't. I didn't know that.
Yeah. And a lot of times the league, they may retire your jersey, but somebody can still wear it.
Right.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because there's only so many numbers.
It's not official. They just kind of take it off the market, right? Is that what you're saying?
Well,
no. They just hang it up. They'll honor the jersey.
Yeah, they'll honor the jersey.
Somebody else can wear it.
Somebody else can wear it. Yeah, they won't retire the number.
Okay.
They might retire that particular jersey for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
But not the number.
But not the number.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because because you can come up short of numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with that being said, I would think I'm okay if you're not going to retire my jersey. Somebody's going to wear it. I'm okay with somebody wearing it. All that would matter to me is what will you do with my jersey to keep me in the mindset of the fan base and the former players or the future players that'll come. I'm not really. Why do I care if they take the number off the market?
Well, I think for sure your Heisman winner, his jersey's going to be in their Ring of Honor or whatever. He's going to be honored.
Whatever it is.
He's going to go Hall of Fame and all that stuff. But I think it brings up two interesting questions. I think number one is the business savvy of the athlete to say, okay, he didn't go. He went to, I think, 1 or 2 years there. He started off at Arizona State, then he transferred to LSU. I'll touch on that in a second. But I think that it brings up an interesting point of now the athlete saying, look, if you're not going to, essentially do what I say, as far as the college that I went to, I don't want you using my name, image, and likeness anymore. So I don't want you to profit or use me in promotional tools or anything like that. What do you think about that part that the athlete now has that
I don't think that I could have that at Marshall when I played there. Marshall has the right to play any clips of my
in a commercial.
In a commercial, yeah.
But if they did something that you disagreed with,
let me throw something in here before you guys go any further with this, because I think part of the problem is what I read. Jayden Daniels and his family feel disrespected because, in their opinion, they're not receiving the same treatment as Joe Burrow. Okay, because his number 9 jersey has not been given to any other player since he left for the NFL in 2020. So that's their argument. Also, I read that this it's a defensive back wearing his number, DJ Pickett.
Yeah. That was high pick.
That was part of his recruiting deal, that he wanted to wear that number, and they granted that. So that's kind of a sticky situation because I guess the school doesn't want to, go back on what they promised this 4-star player to come to LSU.
But I would say with Joe Burrow is that, again, I understand that from a competitive nature, like you want the same treatment. Right. But I would also say Joe Burrow won a championship, and that was one of the greatest college football teams of all time that he was on, and he won the Heisman.
Well,
so it's sort of a different. I'm not saying it's that far different, but that championship at LSU means a lot more than just that Heisman.
Yes,
to them.
Yes, when did we get to the place When did we get to the place
NIL.
where a player is arguing about his jersey going to somebody that's next? I never even thought. And again, I'm not at that level.
Well,
but
no, you are at that level for Marshall.
Yeah.
You was like
Yeah.
one of the first draft picks, so you
He's
are
right.
at that level.
I had
for
no-
Marshall, you are.
if somebody's going to wear number 1 at Marshall, I'm like, hey, what's his name? I want to know who he is. You know, I'm not worried about anything about the number when it comes to me.
But okay, let's say your number's retired at Marshall, or your jersey's retired, or you Ring of Honor or something. Right?
I'm all
Your
that
Hall
kind
of
of
Fame.
stuff. Yeah.
Okay, but would you feel a way if you weren't getting the same accolades for somebody who achieved the same thing as you? Like, so if you had another, like the next dude who gets drafted, or you know what I'm saying? Because I think you were the first after the crash, right?
Yes.
So you were the first after the crash, and let's say the second guy who got drafted, and he's getting all the accolades, but you're not quite getting those accolades. Would you feel different at that point?
No,
Because I think it's different. It's not just about the jersey. It's about that he doesn't want them to use his image.
Yeah,
his
I mean,
image-
it's
his
all,
image-
it's everything.
Here's the
Yeah.
thing. Here's the thing.
The whole
If
NIL
the player,
package, right? He
if
doesn't
the
want
whole
them
thing.
using anything.
If
Any
the
part of
player,
it.
if the player is good, and I'm going to make the assumption that he is really good
Yeah.
because they're
Yeah.
giving him that number.
He is.
You ain't got to worry about that. You don't have to.
You're
you
going to
don't
make
have-
your money elsewhere.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
He does like okay
At the
if-
next level.
If I'm thinking they're going to give somebody a number 1 and he's going to sit on the bench, okay, I might argue with that.
Okay, I got what
You know
you're
what I'm saying?
Well-
but when you're talking about that dude's wearing number 1 and he's playing, I don't care if he's playing guard and he's a good player, he's on the field. Why
like
am
number-
I even worried about that?
It's like number 11 at Penn State. We know like all the dog linebackers get number 11 at Penn
Yeah.
State.
Yeah.
Isn't
I mean,
this the
it's-
reason we have NIL, though? Isn't
Yes.
this the
That's
reason
what
why
I'm
the
saying.
schools are paying these players so that they can use that image and likeness? They have paid him to be a player. I mean, like Carl's day,
Oh.
they didn't have that.
Right.
Yeah.
So he would have, I would think, a much better argument there than, say, someone who has been compensated through the NIL program. They paid you to play there.
So
That's-
they bought
that's
the-
school.
they
Oh,
bought
okay, I
the-
see
they
what
bought
you're
That
saying.
your-
school owns the rights to that
yeah.
footage.
So you're
right.
saying they
He's
okay,
right.
okay.
They
That's-
paid him, so
yeah.
they own the rights to do whatever they want with his
That is
image
a,
and
that's-
likeness
that's
while
a
he's
sticky
there.
argument.
Yes.
That's
He's
a
the
sticky
voice-
argument.
He's the voice of reason.
That to me that
No, that's
kills it. That kills it.
I mean, it does, but I'm still saying. So I mean, like, so Matt, you're saying that Jayden Daniel now does not have a right, whether legally, ethically, or whatever, to dictate what they do with his image because he was compensated at that time.
Yeah.
Essentially, he
That makes
became an
sense.
employee of the
Yes.
university.
Yes.
Yep.
Ooh, this may come up later on when
Man, we're making some
with-
good points. We ought to get this show
I
on.
know. Where's
Send this to
ESPN?
somebody.
Syndicate
Yeah,
us
send it
now.
here.
Come
Yeah.
on now.
I
Good
mean,
Yeah.
Lord.
There's
that's you
That's
can't even
valid.
argue.
I mean,
It's hard
that's
to
tough to
argue
argue
that
with
one.
valid.
Because, I mean, that was really kind of one of the arguments when they came up with the NIL issue to begin with, because there was video games, there's obviously advertising, all of the traditional stuff that's been going on, and that was the argument by the players. Hey, you are using all of our stuff, our image, our likeness, to make money for the university, and we're getting nothing out of it. Now the players are getting something out
You
of
got
it.
some out of
They
it.
don't like.
Do they have
Yeah.
the right to make that claim?
That's a. I mean,
That's spot on. I mean,
That sounds like something that will come up in court eventually.
If it went
if
there,
not
you're
with
right.
him, but with another player that kind of has the same issues. Well, I'll tell you one thing to kind of like the internet is always undefeated when it comes to stuff like this, right? We know that. So the jokes have been flying. So I guess just recently, the Mets beat the Nationals in baseball 4-1, and they said they stopped at 4 out of respect for Jayden Daniels.
Oh,
Okay,
that's funny.
they've got StubHub, who said they no longer will offer tickets in groups of 5, only 4 or 6 plus, out of respect for JD.
that's funny.
Now, how funny is that?
That's funny.
It's
But
I thought it was-
when are you as the person, okay, as Daniels, like when are you going to look at this and say, okay, maybe I'm wrong here?
But okay, let me ask you a question. How does this play? You're in the football, you're in the NFL locker room. Your quarterback is doing this. How does this play in the locker room? Are you like, dude, what the? bleep are you doing?
Oh yeah, there's going to be guys. There's going to be guys and playing guys who are players who have had some years in. Right, they're going to dog you.
Oh, okay.
Right, they're joking. They're going to joke with you. Right, I didn't question. I walked in and there was a 39 in my locker. I ain't have no. I ain't question that thing. I ain't question none of that. I was like, ooh, that ain't a very good number. But you know what I did? I put it on.
And you made it a tight number. You made it.
So for me, I'm saying I don't care what number you get, dude. Make it work. And I couldn't go over and try to get your jersey. You was already there. I can't get Lisa's. It's already there. You're already playing. I can't come in and start talking about, well, hey, I want Hollis's jersey. Better yet, Hollis has my jersey number on. How's that?
Here's the thing about the NFL. They cover their own ass because what's the very last thing that plays on an NFL broadcast? The very last thing.
The copyright or production of this.
Reproduction or redistribution, blah, 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 is the express written consent of the NFL. They've got themselves covered there.
Right,
now,
right.
The question is, does the NCAA have the same thing? I don't know, but
I bet I don't even know if this has ever been a thing.
It's never. I don't ever remember. I mean, I'm sure there's been
I don't even think they probably even thought about somebody.
But
like
Matt's
this situation.
right.
Like
when you're paid, you're paid for all of that. Like they paid him for the name, you know.
Well, I think it was a situation in which I want to say it was a Notre Dame player that, and this was pre-NIL, he actually did something similar. Like he didn't want to be on commercials and featured. He was like on one of those little game day commercials or something to that effect. So I think it has been done. But again, I think he was in the era pre-NIL. I want to say it was a Notre Dame guy. But to this degree, and I have to agree with Matt. I mean, you was paid, so I think it's going to be difficult for you to say like, well, we just can't. Particularly a Heisman Trophy.
I know, right? Well, I think he's kind of realized the error of his ways. I mean, recently he's come out and made a statement that he's locked in on training camp and he has gratitude toward LSU, but there are issues they need to work out. So he's kind of backing down a little bit, trying to, because he realizes. I mean, the jokes
wasn't a good move.
He's getting.
He knows what's.
I mean,
what's
think about some of the number, just the number of players that have left college, gone to the pros, and somebody just threw them a number, and they put that jersey on and they played, and here now we've got a guy who is worried about his jersey number.
I know. I mean, it was kind of like it raised my eyebrows. That's for sure. I was kind of like,
Hollis. I guarantee you, Hollis.
But Matt makes a good point.
Yeah.
Matt, I mean, I think eventually
that's the point.
There's going to be some litigation that comes along with this,
and maybe that might be something that's negotiated within contracts on the front end to say to negotiate
from going forward.
Yeah, naming the likeness moving forward. Mm-hmm. I mean, and if it got down to jersey, that'd be so petty. But you know,
does anything shock you anymore?
Nah,
I mean,
pettiness,
the level of pettiness we've got going on in college, and it's just crazy.
What happened to showing up at camp and
them days
and just
business
and
now,
play
man.
and
Business.
just go and play?
It's business. All right. So speaking of that, speaking of showing up at camp and play, we are in the midst of the NFL preseason, which came really, really, really fast.
My goodness, blinked our eyes.
So, and we wanted to ask you, Coach, like what, like if you can think back to when you were a rookie versus when you were an established veteran, like what was your mindset about preseason football games? So, starting off when you was a rookie, what was your mindset going into like your first preseason football game?
Am I going to play?
Am I gonna, that's it?
I just wanted to get the opportunity.
See that.
Yeah.
I mean, how were their nerves? Because I mean, this is it.
I think over the nerves came wanting to play. I couldn't spend any time. I don't want to say I wasn't nervous, but I was more so wanting to play because I figured the only way I'm going to make the team is if I play and I can show it. So now, getting an opportunity, when you first get the first opportunity to play, there's some nervousness there. But if you're asking, like, first opportunity, I'm in camp and I want to get out there with the guys that are the name players. You got Tommy Kramer out there, and I'm like, hey, I want to go. Let me in so I can see if I can intercept the ball from him. It's just it to me, it was all about trying to simply get on the field, because you couldn't. I wasn't going to be able to stand there and just say, okay, he looks like a player. I wanted to show that I was a player, and I wasn't really sure if that was going to be what showed up, but in my head, I'm thinking, I just want to get out on the field. I want to get out in the field. And I think most players, whether it's a walk-on or a free agent, first-round pick, last-round pick, I think when you get there and you're walking into the locker and you're walking into it's a college surroundings, and you got your number, you get to your locker and you put that gear on and you're walking out for the first practice, the first actual physical practice, you're thinking about, man, I'm going to hit everything I can possibly hit. I'm going to do anything I can do to get a coach
to
stand out so that I have an opportunity to try to get to play. And you get that twice. Back in the day, you got it twice a day, for 3.5 weeks.
So is the game, the actual first preseason game, are you entering with that same mindset?
Yes, you want to play, and I don't think I played in the first preseason game.
Special teams, nothing?
No, nothing. I think maybe the second game I got in. I got in on defense for maybe a quarter, and then by the last preseason game, I think I got like maybe the whole last quarter. I played or maybe a half, and made some plays, but what the preseason does for you is, in your cockiness and belief that you can play, it'll show you if you can. You get the opportunity to be able to say, okay, I can fit here.
So what about the established players though? Like okay, so I'm going to bring this up real quick because I want to hear what you guys have to say about it. It's Tom Brady, one of my favorite former quarterbacks. Insert eye roll here. He had a message for NFL players who would rather spend the preseason safely watching from the sideline. He said, "Get in the game." What happened was a fan shared one of his old clips of him playing in a 2010 Patriots preseason game. And he reposted it to his Instagram, okay? And he said, this was, and I quote, "Preseason, regular season, I never wanted to be taken off the field. Practice makes perfect. Too many people looking for easy ways out these days." Now, that's what he said. What do you guys think about Tom's wisdom?
I think he's 100% right.
Oh?
Because
what if you get hurt?
I got in because I got in because a guy was saying he was hurt.
Okay.
He thought he was hurt.
Mm-hmm.
I got a chance to get in. In all intents and purposes, I outplayed him. So now his job now is my job. So you don't have the
but
time.
Once you were a starter is what I'm saying.
Yeah, once you were an established starter, what was the thought process of playing in preseason?
I'm not going to ever give you a chance to get in the game.
Okay.
And management was okay with that because, see, I look at it as
if
management doesn't want them in there to get hurt.
They may bring you out. If they bring you out, they might bring you out the first quarter. They might bring you out at half and then put somebody else in. But for me, the title was preseason. I wasn't thinking in my mind I was good enough that I could just play it because it was preseason. I'm playing a game.
Oh, so you're locked in.
I'm locked in. I can't do that in practice, but this is a game. I don't know nobody over there. I don't have to take it easy on nobody. You come across here, I'm hitting you.
So that's you. So you had a similar Tom Brady mindset, like preseason, week one, playoffs. It don't matter.
It's playing. It's playing. And again, he was a low round draft pick.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
maybe the mentality's
That
Yeah,
mentality
yeah.
when
It's
you're in
true.
college and and people are thinking that you're good and you're starting to think that you're good too, and all of a sudden when the draft go, they call this name, they call this name, they call this name, then they talk about, well, we'll call you back tomorrow, and you get that call the next day, and you're getting ready to go into camp. And I'm looking at some dudes. I'm like thinking that all these dudes came before me. All these dudes. You're saying this guy's better than me? This ain't gonna work. I'm telling you, I don't see how you could go into it without that mindset. Because if you do, you better be a superstar. I wasn't a superstar. I had to build my name, my reputation, what I could do on the field.
So that stayed with you.
That stayed with me. I was hungry every single year.
Gotcha. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And I'm curious. I would like to look it up. Maybe Matt can look it up for us. But did Tom Brady play in any preseason games? The end of his career. Did he did?
Yeah, I remember him playing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
At least
I remember thinking, like, what are they doing?
Okay.
he's going to play at least a quarter, and
Yeah.
if nothing, and maybe max at halftime.
Yeah.
And that was just the actual reality of players. Now, do you have players? Are there players that don't want to play in preseason? Absolutely. And today, I think they're not interested in it
Don't
at
you
all.
think that's more management than the players, actually? Like, to me, those players are an investment. This is preseason. I remember, I don't know how long ago, this was probably 10 years ago, whenever, was it Jordy Nelson got hurt in a preseason game, a meaningless game, and he was out the rest of the season. He did some kind of I can't even remember the injury. But to me, those star players, you protect them this time of year, because what happens is, even though most of those kids that are out there preseason are trying to, make plays to make the team, that's the thing. They're going to go. Their adrenaline's high. That they're looking to make a name for themselves. They're going to hit hard, and the chances of injuries occurring, to me, skyrocket, because those kids are wanting to make a name for themselves.
I would say this.
They play too many games.
I'm always going to be the one trying to make. I'm trying to make the team every time I go out on the field. Every time I go out on the field.
That's a different mentality.
I'm because I know Hollis. I know if Hollis is playing, I know he's good. He's here, so I know he's good. I'm not going to make that mistake. But John Swain, University of Miami, he had the audacity to say, I won't play this game today because my ankle's hurt. Okay. Who's going in? I'm going in with the mindset thinking, bro, you ain't never going to get back out here.
Yeah.
And he never got back out
It's
there.
a brutal game, isn't it?
It is. I mean, it
is what it is.
So if I know I got a job because a guy didn't want to play because he said he was hurt, you think I'm going to get out of the game? I'm not going to play in the game? I'm playing with a cast with pins in my wrist because I'm not going to not play. Because Hollis is sitting right behind me waiting on me to not get in the game.
Yeah. Laurie, I mean, again, I think that's just a different mentality when you are Tom Brady, Coach Lee, when you a low pick and you ascend. So I think you always kind of carry that chip, which, I mean, honestly, it makes sense. And that's probably what should happen. So just moving on to youth sports, there's an article that we got sent earlier by one of our producers, and it talked about the AAU system. And back in 2011, there was an allegation, or maybe a conviction or what have you, about sexual abuse in the AAU or youth sports. And then AAU made a pledge to do investigation, to do background checks on coaches, to set standards. They even had a rule that we'll talk about later, that if a coach was banned from one organization or one league, that he would be banned from the AAU system in totality. But what the article discovered in the investigation is that they weren't really doing the background checks. Several banned coaches who were banned in other leagues were still coaching within the AAU system, and it just wasn't being upheld, or what they said wasn't being upheld as far as what they do. And it brings an interesting a point, because I guess I don't know how you would even try to make that claim, or how you would even try to do that or implement and even execute that, because everything is so fragmented. So even within the ancillary leagues and the little local leagues, and also within AAU system, because it's so large, because you have hundreds of thousands of kids participating in any one given time across various sports. So and it brings up to a question, something we've discussed is like, does youth sports, do they need either statewide governing bodies, or should there just be a national governing body which everybody is under? So whether you're playing rec league, whether you're playing within the circuits, should there be like standardized governing bodies?
I think it should be statewide as a whole. If you want to do national, that's fine. But if you don't do local, national is not ever going to have an impact.
I can see that. Yeah.
They're not going to have an impact on leagues like that we have here in West Virginia. They're not going to. Why would they bother with that, right? But if you have local, I'll just say state. If you have the state is overseeing it, I think now everybody's accountable. We can still have a board of coaches and presidents and all that kind of stuff, but you are the one who is going to be blamed. That board is going to be the one blamed if something's not going on.
But let me ask you a different question. How do they execute that, even on the state level? So we're saying all youth sports. So we're saying cheering, wrestling, track, all this. And we're saying we got to go to each little community, and now we're going to be the governing body over all these fragmented and various sports. How do you do that?
Couldn't you do something similar to the model that the Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts use? Like they have national standards that are there for all the organizations, and then they take those and they mold them and make them fit to meet their needs at their state level. So you have an extra layer of security. You have the national layer saying this is our expectations, this is what you need to do to run a clean program, and then the state has to abide by those and then maybe make their own bylaws and things.
But I think that the difference in that is that they're all under one organization. The youth sports, as it's currently constructed, it's a bunch of different leagues.
Okay.
So they're
making their own rules
so there's
and
no
regulations.
cohesion within that. So I'm saying, to your point, it could work if we're saying it's one organization just spread across different counties.
Yeah, you don't have. Yeah, you don't
Yeah.
have to play. That league can be its own league, but
I don't think you could even do it like that. I think it has to be.
well, everybody.
Yeah.
To me, I'm thinking. To your point, maybe a little bit different. You have a governing body that sits above, and there's no coaches, no parents, none of that
Like
kind
a
of
national?
stuff.
Like the WVSSAC.
Yes.
Oh, okay, like a
Yes.
statewide.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
And you follow their rules, and then there's an opportunity for them to receive a report. I could say Hollis is coaching at such and such place, and we don't think that they are doing this.
The question is, how do you execute and implement that? What does that look like? Because I'm saying, like, if you say it's the WVSSAC for youth sports, this is throw a title on it. But there's so many more youth sports than there are high school teams.
Right.
There's so many
Yeah,
more
that's
youth
true.
teams.
Yes.
So I'm saying, like,
Every little community and
then what's the incentive for this team, that team to be a part of this larger thing? You see what I'm saying?
Well,
Like,
the reason why you would have to be part, because then if you don't participate, you ain't got a place to play.
but you still need buy-in from all these teams. Right?
I understand that, yes, but no, not necessarily. Our motive to have to agree to it, whatever that's being put out there. If you put something out there and you had control of all the school, all the football fields and stuff, bro, we got to follow you.
I see what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying.
So, the reality of where they practice, where they play their home games, are all on high school, middle school fields.
And I can see that working for football. I still have questions on how that's going to work for cheering, how that's going to work for basketball, how that will work for baseball. because there's even as many football teams as we think we have, it's so many more basketball and baseball teams.
Well, I think for me, the bigger point for me is there were girls being abused.
100%.
And that's a criminal charge. And regardless of whether we have an AAU national or statewide level,
somebody's accountable.
Somebody's accountable, and those people should legally, be taken to court, and whatever, consequences are served to them should be served. Just like any other sport, like, in college, whenever we had the scandal at Penn State. So, the bigger point is if there is some type of abuse going on with some of these AAU leagues, then wherever they happen, first of all, you need to have a prevention of everybody needs to be background checked. And I know that doesn't prevent everything, but it could help. In the case that
100%.
somebody jumped from one league to another and they really didn't check out his background,
right.
That could have been prevented.
Yeah.
But, it's not going to prevent every situation. We know that, but at least it will help curb it.
Yeah, I mean, and I agree with you 100%. I guess my question is, and just trying to play devil advocate, is that how do you execute it is kind of the question that I have. Because, again, I'm telling you, I've seen some of the most egregious things, particularly as it pertains to football. I mean, I've seen these wacko coaches. I seen one thing where they were having kids jog up a hill on like a street. It was a concrete in their cleats and in their helmets. I seen one thing where they're clearly having the kids like not tackle correctly, leading with their head.
Yeah.
It's like these people don't need to be coaching at all, right? But the question is like, how do you execute a governing body against youth sports when the nature of it, at least from some of these coaches' standpoint, is that they are free to do whatever they want to do.
They're volunteers mainly, right?
Yeah, volunteers.
So that's an issue.
But I think what you could do in that volunteer process, which is just saying, if I want to coach, I can just say, hey, I show up and walk out on the field, bring my son, and put him out there, and next thing you know, I'm coaching.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
Regardless of what I know or don't know about football, I'm coaching. That's one of the problems. But what I think, to your point, I think what should happen is just like if you're going to coach in high school or college. You got to take a class.
I believe that.
I think that they need to take those classes and pass them.
Yeah.
And then become part of it.
And I agree, but then it's even harder to get people to come out and volunteer.
That's the other piece.
That they're already strapped to find people to come out and just coach, whether they're qualified or not. And then you add that piece to it, unpaid. Then that's just going to deter a lot more people to be involved, in my opinion.
And I think what happens too, if we have it so structured, then it almost takes the community feel out of it as well. So
True.
it's like it inhibits certain things, but I think that we have to have some sort of standardization, whether we get together as like a quasi governing body and saying, look, we're going to have these rules. We're not necessarily going to be like the quote unquote governing body, but we as a collective,
yes,
that's a better word.
But I'll say this to trying to figure out if we can get them to do that without paying. I would make the case that most dads who are coaching their son would pay for the class to be able to be on the field with their son. I think the coaches, the dads, or even just the coaches who are there, who show up, I think, at least for us, we've got coaches who know they don't know and will ask, and they want to know. And I think what we could do is we could actually give them a class, create a class that all coaches would have to take.
But I just don't see that as the biggest issue. The biggest issue is getting all the teams to work together and to be under an authoritative body. I think that's the issue.
Yeah.
I think you can get the coaches because you as an organization could mandate that. But I think that getting all these little ragtag teams together and saying, okay, you're now under this governing body on a state and then at a national level, that's the task.
See, I think, and to your point, the reason why that would be challenging, because if I'm X program over here, I want to play over there because we think we can compete there, and we don't want to go over that way because we can't compete.
And then the governing body is going to be tasked with managing all these issues, and it would literally be endless. So I don't know
that's a good point.
that it could. Like I'm just trying to figure out. I'm sure it can work.
I mean, maybe just start with baby steps. Like first of all, make sure that what was happening in the article that you referred to with the AAU and the girls having some abuse. You got to stop that.
Got to stop that.
The other stuff. That should be the first thing that happens.
I think even with the background check, I think that if you're especially in the AAU situations, or travel or whatever you want to call it, I think that there should not necessarily be a time to where you could have my daughter, you and my daughter by herself. Yeah. There should not be a situation because we don't have a locker room.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
And only place we have that you should be around them is on the court.
Yeah. Well, and you're not sure what the story. It could have even been cyber. I mean, you don't know. People get their phones and do things. So who knows?
Yeah, and that's a deep issue.
That's a deep issue.
Just moving to two fun. We got to close out here shortly, but two fun topics. So two fun questions. So this guy named D Rich TV on Instagram. He posed these two questions. So I asked the first one: if you had a son, would you rather for your son to be a Division I volleyball player or a Division III basketball player?
I'm going to go Division III.
Basketball player?
Yeah.
What do you say?
Whatever.
I mean, I like basketball. I would go Division III basketball as well.
See, I'm saying Division I volleyball because here's my thoughts. If you're going particularly Division III basketball, that means you lack the skill and you probably lack the metric. Because you're not even getting Division II or junior college look.
But
you'll be a big fish in a little pond.
Hey, if you're Division I, I mean, but I say, but here's the thing: if you're going Division III, you lack the metric and you lack the skill set probably, or you're very, very, very deficient in the metric and have some skill set. So you have a lack. If you're a Division I athlete, normally you have the metric and you have
but you're
skill
playing
set.
volleyball.
But you're playing volleyball.
Nothing against volleyball. I just don't
there's
want
nothing
to watch
against volleyball. I just don't know how many young boys are out there looking to play volleyball.
I don't check ESPN's schedule to see when the next volleyball. I mean, in fact, I don't see much volleyball on TV.
You got beach volleyball. That's huge.
That ain't men.
And you got the it's dudes too. It's dudes beach volleyball and men's volleyball.
Maybe I only watch the women.
It's just because Carl only watches the women.
And then you have Olympic. And then you have the Olympics. So it's an opportunity. If they're that good, they can play the Olympics.
I'm going to tell you right now, those guys get into volleyball because they know the women that are playing also.
But and here's the thing: have you ever been to a men's volleyball game? University of Charleston has a men's volleyball team. Them dudes jump out of the sky.
Oh, they're athletic.
They are skywalkers. Them dudes are like 6'6", 6'8", and they are jump. I mean, they would dunk basketballs. I'm talking about these dudes got hops. These dudes are super athletic.
But that's a rare group of athletes.
At least here it is. Yeah, I mean, in the States,
everybody don't. Most of the kids that are going to be, if you're going to be a football player, we're barely fit in that.
Did you notice how he left the football option out of that question?
I mean, it's not my question. It's D. Rich's question.
I know.
But I'm saying, like, I'm going to Penn State. I want to go to Miami. I'm not going Division III track in those mouths. If I'm going to go to the away games, I'm going to the Clemson, South Carolinas. Yeah, I'm going to LSU. I'm going to USC. Yeah, I'm going to the good campuses. So, yeah, if we're going to play – okay, next question. Similar question. So, would you rather for your son to be a Division III, like, superstar, very, very good Hall of Fame type player, or would you rather for them to go Division I and be a bench warmer in basketball?
I want to start him for him.
So you want Division III superstar?
Yes.
What about you,
I'm
Lisa?
going Division III all the way.
Y'all are nuts. I'm going Division I. Imagine my son going to Duke. Yeah, you sitting on the bench, but bro, we in Duke. We in USC. We playing big time basketball.
My mindset, as we have already had and understand, I want him on the field. If he ain't gonna be on the field, hey, bro, go do something else.
Oh man, no, he could. I mean, it might be 4 or 5 years. He got 5 years to play now.
No,
hey, he might be a senior and play.
no.
I'm going to the good games. I got free tickets.
See,
I'm getting swag.
Here's the difference. Hollis is worried about his experience. That's the
He wanna
dad.
watch the
He's
game.
not worried about his son. He's
I'm
worried
going to
about
the
what
good
he's going to
games.
get out of it.
I'm going to all
Truth
of Ohio
the
State.
truth shall set you free, Mr.
Auburn.
Lewis.
That's terrible.
Big Georgetown. I'm there. We having fun with this.
that is, and he owned it.
Yeah, we are. I'm not. I don't want to go to Division. I ain't trying to crack Division 3.
Shame on you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for Mr. Lewis.
Hey, we going to the nice campuses.
He didn't really mean what he said.
Yes, he did.
He might get a little NIL money. Who knows?
All right, Lisa, we got to get out of here.
I know. I know who gets fired this week.
Yeah, he's getting fired this week. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back again next week. Thank you for joining.